Well, you guys.
I think that's a great way to start. I just started it. They didn't catch any of that.
Okay.
So, folks, this is,
Our live Q&A. Welcome.
yes, here to perform for you any stunts, tricks, or just answer any questions you may have. And sometimes voices, impressions, and other silly nonsense may be involved. I'm guessing the audio is good now. We actually had audio problems, so this is the second time that we started this stream. So this would almost be like going number 10, but it is number 9. This is our live Q&A Tattoo Shop Hump Day, High Sierra Tattoo Co. YouTube channel, Joshua Ray Farmer, Clovis, California, 601 West Shaw, 93612, Q&A. So try repeating that. Anyway, guys, this is the Q&A. If you guys have been on this before, you already know. Ask questions, we answer them. Usually what happens on this is we ask questions on social media, and we go through our Instagram and Facebook. Me and Phil both do it on both of our pages. We haven't done it this time, so we have no questions to answer except for the questions in which you currently ask here in the chat below. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Usually we get to answer those questions from online previously asked, and we skip a lot of the questions that get asked here live. So this time we would really like to focus on the people that are here engaged with us on YouTube. And I think it's going to be a little more fun for me, especially because a lot of times we get to talking about the questions people have previously asked, and we don't get to address you guys or communicate with you. So this time that's what we're doing. So ask away if you can, if you're watching this, and we're coming in loud and clear. We hope we are, and the video looks good. Then ask us whatever question you have, but let us know where you're watching from. Where is our viewership coming from? So state us your location, and let's get into it. So this is episode number 9, and now that we're well seasoned, professionals, and we're the most experienced broadcasters currently on YouTube. You might as well watch us and unsubscribe even from everybody else, just so that you don't get their notifications and get distracted from the high quality information and entertainment that you get here, if that makes any sense. If you agree with me, go ahead and comment here. Let us know what you agree with, which part, and if you don't, we will just block you. So no negativity, please. If you don't ask questions and you don't let us know where you're viewing from, then we will also block you. We're not bullies, but we're business people. So if you're on here and you're listening and you're not even commenting at all, then we will block you. If you don't share this with your friends and your family and show it to your grandchildren, your future grandchildren's grandchildren, we also
We'll block you.
Yes. So the code word for today is bring cash.
Bring cash.
Bring cash, always. So we're mostly going to just answer all of your questions, your incoming questions with
Bring cash.
Bring cash. So if you have any silly questions, we'll just answer it that way, although we like silly questions. Now, there is something I get asked a lot, especially on the questions we pre-submit for people. By the way, you guys, got a nice little candle going for you, so we are setting the mood.
We sure are.
Yes.
I like that little touch.
Yeah, we really are touching it. So we are going to, well, first I'm going to start with something that gets asked a lot before we start answering questions, which you guys now can start doing in the comments below. With questions we get asked a lot, we don't always answer, so we will put them on our Facebook or Instagram stories and say, ask us anything. And there's plenty of things we do not answer, just because time to time people will ask things that, one, I just don't want to say and bring up. And most of the time they're just people being silly. That being said, people are always asking, ever since this being the 9th episode, people are always asking, what are the questions you guys want to answer? So that's kind of what beginning of this one will be. We're not going to actually ask them. We'll just talk about them, because I don't want to read them.
Okay.
Because some of them they're just gross, and you guys are like 12-year-olds in 30-year-old bodies. But so what's some of the stuff that you remember us being asked over the last 8 episodes that are definitely like touch on some of the ones that we definitely don't answer, and or why we don't answer them?
Well, some questions like, do we tattoo private areas? We usually just won't answer those questions because we figure that's a given.
Mm-hmm. Or people have asked like heads and hands, which is a little less obvious, but sometimes it's, they just don't know. Yeah. But yeah, the private parts, or sometimes it's just silly things like people will ask, what's the nastiest tattoo or the dirtiest or the the worst, or things like that. And sometimes we answer those if we can find a way to do it as clean and PG-13 as possible, but it doesn't always work that way. So people will ask us silly questions we just want to answer. But some of the ones that we get asked all the time is like if we'll tattoo certain body parts. So I'm not going to say the exact words, but they will literally ask like, will you tattoo my such and such? And I really don't feel like they're being serious, in my opinion. So I don't answer them and address them in a serious way. So this is me addressing you now. These are a lot of the questions we get that we won't actually go over. And a lot of them are, I think, people also being silly that we don't know, but they'll ask things like, do you trade certain services for tattoos? I do, but none of the rest of the girls do. So
You don't.
I am fully, totally cool with, nobody here does that. We like money.
Bring cash.
Bring cash. Yeah. So that's it. Although I shouldn't say we, I can't speak here for everybody. I've definitely been solicited by males and females, both. And sometimes not just one at a time, which is really hard to turn down. So, questions. Guys, you're on here now. It looks to me like quite a few of you are watching. You're not currently asking questions unless there's a delay. If you don't ask questions, we are going to block you forever.
We are.
Yes, we are 11 minutes into this live, and you have asked 0 questions. So you're going to have to think of something that we can respond to. So ready, set, go. So my mother, Susan, I should just start saying Susan Glanzer. It sounds so impersonal. Mom, do you mind if I just call you Susan Glanzer? So Susan asked,
She didn't ask anything.
oh, she didn't. I didn't turn my head sideways. Susan didn't ask anything. So she's saying it takes me a while to find the chat box. So Susan, the chat box, you have to, when you go on YouTube and watch the feed, you actually have to X out of, I think, the comments, and then the chat box shows up, or hit the little triangles. There's like one upside and one upside down, a right side up and upside down. So ask away, guys. I feel like maybe my mom is the only one watching, which will be totally fine with me, but ask away. And also, Mother, are you watching this on a TV or are you watching this on your phone? I just want to know if I look famous in my house that I grew up in. That would be kind of cool. Like, I want to watch me on my TV. That would be awesome. I'm going to ask you, Fel, something.
Yeah.
So people always ask, like, if you could tattoo anything or tattoo anybody or tattoo a certain style. Like, there's always, like, specifics. People kind of want to know, like, do tattoo artists have... So my question to you is, do you think a lot of them have certain things that they really do enjoy and some things they really don't? Like there's definitely not just you're a tattoo artist, so I'm just going to throw any arbitrary idea or tattoo at you. What do you think?
I think artists definitely do have favorites, especially as they get more experienced. I've noticed talking to other artists. I'm new myself, so I am very excited to try a bunch of different things, but more experienced people that are maybe can do some crazy realism like you, might not get as excited with a little bit of lettering.
Right.
You know.
Somebody wants maybe some 3 numbers or a couple letters or something on their form is not, for me, very exciting because I've been doing it since you were born.
Yeah.
Which is actually probably true.
Yeah.
15. Wow, that's weird. Huh, that's true. I've been doing it since before you were born. That's awesome. So I've been paving the way for you. I've just been setting it all up so that I can tattoo all the numbers and letters in the meantime. And then when I grow up, you can do it. So I grew up and now Felicia can do it. Well, she will be doing it.
I will.
So yeah, definitely people ask a lot if there's certain things certain tattoo artists do or don't like to tattoo. And yes, definitely for the seasoned tattoo artist, there's going to be a lot of specifics because they're going to have developed a style or a niche. But even for, I guess, new tattoo artists, there's going to be certain things that if they're newer, if they're apprentice especially, they're less experienced. So there's going to be some things that are just really actually very difficult and they don't seem that way. You know, whenever you ask somebody if they can do art, they say, their remark is, I can't even draw a straight line. Well, I'll be honest with you, that's like really hard to do without a ruler, and we can't use rulers on the skin. So it's also very difficult. So anytime there's parallel lines or really intensive line work, especially for the newer artists, it's difficult. So that being said, they might not prefer to do it. As for me, a lot of times it's the opposite. If I get to do portraits, then I prefer something really difficult to challenge me and push me, and something simple doesn't really do that, so it becomes incredibly mundane, if you will. So Susan, she said, I wanted to on the TV, and it sounds better on the phone. So we did switch the video. So this is actually a new feed, and I hope the audio sounds a lot better. So I think we fixed it. Nobody currently, let's see here. So yes, this is what we get asked actually often. So Susan, thank you for asking. Felicia, do you want to read it?
Yes. Susan asks, are there any tattoos that we are not willing to do? Meaning subject matter.
So then the answer would definitely be yes. So some of the subject matter is just anything that we don't feel comfortable with, and that's probably going to be different for everybody. There's going to be certain things people bring in. The first one that I get quite often actually is going to be people wanting, like, let's say a rebel flag mixed with like an American flag as like some sort of Southern heritage, which I understand what they're asking for, but it's just not something I feel comfortable doing or want to necessarily put my shop name on. Not necessarily because of my beliefs or not, but because of other people's perception of it. It might be misunderstood. Maybe the reason why they're getting it isn't, necessarily anything, offensive or nefarious, but it still can be taken that way. So I just would rather not go that route and do those things. And some stuff just blatantly would be something I would reject easily, but I don't really get asked, surprisingly, guys. I really don't get asked to do certain tattoos that would be necessarily that offensive or that derogatory, I guess. I mean, even then, like I see them, I'm, aside from maybe a swastika or some sort of, really, let's say, specific image, there's not a whole lot of stuff that people ask for that are sober, I guess. But especially coming in a tattoo shop, we're here in Clovis, and nobody's coming in asking for anything super crazy. Sometimes the ideas might be silly ideas, but in terms of offensive, usually not the case. I don't. It doesn't happen too often, so it's actually a really good thing, to be honest. How about your experience?
I honestly am not willing to tattoo somebody's name on somebody else.
Like if somebody comes in and says, hey, my name's Bob and my girlfriend wants Bob on her chest.
Yeah.
You're like,
like unless it's like a someone that passed away, like,
so if they come to you and say, I want my grandpa's name who passed away on me, then we kind of have to do it. I mean, you can't really tell them no if they're going to be that tricky. So don't get any ideas, folks.
Yeah.
If we're going to be that tricky. But it does happen. People come in and ask for names, and lo and behold, a couple months later, they're coming back and asking us to cover it, which isn't the funnest thing to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to have to cover it. I don't want,
Yeah. So even covering my own work, it's usually something, if there's subject matter that I won't tattoo, it's I won't cover my own work. Yeah. So when people come in and have things that they regret, I don't want to do that. I feel like it's almost degrading for someone to ask me to cover my own work that I, put a lot of time into. So I just avoid that at all costs. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Cam is asking a question.
Cam asks, what are both of your tattoo styles? May I answer this one first?
Sure. I don't know if we told you guys what this was on this stream, but it is a
carnelian stone. And we use this to pass around as we ask questions.
Yes. So this brings all kinds of positive energy and superpowers to
creativity to the table.
Yes.
Literally.
So that's why I'm holding it, because I need help with creativity. Okay. So
I'm sorry.
So that's awesome. Yeah, but they've been married for 25 years.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So, Cam, what are both of your tattoo styles? My tattoo style is now going to be like pretty much, I'm just going to say portraits, because it gets to the point now where I'm booked out for almost a year, which means I can really kind of get picky until I'm not booked out for a year at least, and just doing what I want. And if there's anything I would like to really just stick to, it's portraits. They're incredibly hard, and they're really satisfying when you nail them, and they're really scary when you mess them up. So there's a lot of pressure, and I respond really well to that, and that helps me as an artist to grow. So that's where I stand there. It would be more realism and portraiture.
Now, I am only an apprentice, so my only experience has been line work and lettering. I don't have a whole lot of experience with heavy shading, very little experience with color, but I am confident with my fine lines.
Yeah, so that would be like when you're keeping it, because some of the work you do, like your art book and your your portfolio that you're making, it's a lot of fine line stuff. It's kind of more traditional, so it's bold lines, some simple fill in terms of like not using cut. Well, yours so far has been black and white. If you guys could see this thing, it's pretty badass, and it kind of has a spooky sort of playful vibe to it, but it's definitely got that traditional bold line and some fine line mixed with it. And the lines definitely, I will definitely agree, even in your drawings, are pretty impressive. It's really hard to do a lot of, because you do extensive line work. Some of the stuff you use lines for actual shading. So to do a bunch of parallel lines simultaneously over and over and make them look good is really difficult. So that, in terms of style, it would be like a minimalistic approach to traditional with like kind of a more of a new school vibe, if you will. Kind of a witchy, haunty, cool, fun vibe.
Yeah.
So
well, thank you for explaining that in a way better way, because I honestly wasn't really sure how to explain my style.
Well, it does. I actually think it's harder to explain somebody's style, especially when you're starting for yourself, than it is somebody else, because you don't really see it the way other people see it. So that's always fun to do. All right. So Susan, she's saying, I did put my husband's name on my ankle.
I know. That's what I was laughing at.
And
that's what I was laughing at before.
And he also has your name on his arm, which I did. So I do think that's pretty cool, just for the simple fact that you guys have been together for over 25 years and things are going well. And yes, we love you for that. So Susan Glanzer, I think it's awesome that you have your husband's name on you. And I think it's well deserving for both of you. You're wonderful people. So another question.
Who are your favorite tattoo artists?
That's a hard one. That's actually really difficult. I really don't follow a lot of people, especially on social media, but in general, before even social media, I don't really follow a lot of artists. Like I have friends, tattooers, that will rattle off just a whole plethora of different names. I don't want to end the live stream. I just need to touch the screen. So there's not a plethora of different artists that necessarily I'm into, but there is a few that I could say right away. Most of them work here in the shop. So my favorite artists, I would have to say currently, are going to be Peach and Midna, because they've been working here for years and pouring their heart and soul into what they do. And I'm really impressed with how well they've done. And artist Peach has been really getting just incredibly meticulous with her lines, and just, people know her for that. They bring it up and say, man, her line work is just beautiful. So it's really cool to have that in the shop, especially because she essentially started here and learned a lot really quickly, and I just threw her right in the fire, and she's now an inspiration for a lot of the other girls here, and they can look at her work and think, wow, that's really cool, because look how good she's gotten so quickly. Same with artist Midna. Sure, she's a graphic artist by nature, and she's learning the simple stuff at the moment as an apprentice, but she's also doing really well. When you give her a chance to do something realistic, she literally just kills it. So to see her go from literally no experience getting tattooed really, or having tattoos for that much, or for that matter, and then going to being able to tattoo some of the stuff. If you guys look at her page, it's Legend of Midna. I think it's Legend underscore of underscore Midna. And that's Midna, like midnight, Minda. And if you guys look at her work, she does, when she attempts realism or anything 3D or graphic, it is unbelievable for an apprentice that's been doing it for a little less than a year. It's incredible. So my two favorite artists as of now, and eventually I will say most likely two more, maybe three more in the near future, and we will get to that at another time. All right, so she's also asking another question. Wait, did you answer that?
I did not answer that.
Oh,
that's why
Felicia
I took this down.
Yeah, I'm so long-winded.
I am going to answer. Other than obviously Josh, I would have to say Aussie underscore tattoo on Instagram. I want to get my dragging done by him, actually.
Very cool.
And he does color realism. He was the one that I showed you, that frog, or that skull,
Mhm.
and then the frog.
Nice. That's cool. It's got like a sort of, I guess, I don't know what the style is, but it reminds me of storybook type stuff. Like when you look at history books and the drawings and depictions of characters, it's kind of got that vibe to it. It's very detailed.
Yeah.
I like it. Kind of more fine line type work. So
It's kind of hard to see, but it is an Aussie, OOZY_tattoo, and he's based out of Japan, but he just recently moved to Los Angeles. So
nice. So what we're going to have to do is take a little clip of this and send it to him and let him know that the wonderful and amazing, super talented and lovely Felicia is following you and absolutely admires your work. So nice little shameless plug. All right. So my mom, Susan, said, I love the tattoo that you were doing today. If you guys didn't see that earlier, I was actually tattooing a client of mine, Haley, and she was getting a huge thigh piece of 2 koi fish. So that was pretty cool. If you guys didn't see it, you can always, once you're ready to jump off here, not yet, jump off here now and I will block you. So when you guys are done with this, you can check out our last live post, and that was a couple of hours of Haley's tattoo. So that came out really good. It was a lot of fun too, and it means a lot to her. She's like super pumped about it. I have to say something about that, by the way. So people get really excited about their tattoos, and I feel like we've talked about this before, but when I first started doing tattoos, I could do the simplest like Chinese character outline and it comes out good, and people get ecstatic about it. Like they will be like jumping around and pumped and being like, dude, you're doing so good, and that's the best clean lines I've ever seen. And now I'm doing like really hard stuff like portraits and realism and 3D things, and time to time I get those people who love what I give them, and I think they all love what I give them. Of course, I'm the best. I mean, nobody is better than me at realism and portraiture, so that's why they come to me and ask me all the secrets. The stone is really working. So because I'm the best in the world,
confidence.
because I'm the best in the world, and people ask me all the questions, and they flock to me with all of the intuition that you could possibly want, and I give them all the best answers. That makes me not only qualified to say, but I think also intimidating for people to praise my work, because they're like, it's so godlike, it's so incredible, it's so what's the word?
It's like the norm for you,
Right? It's just so whatever.
It's just like you're like,
it's like whatever.
Shocker, you do like amazing stuff.
It's like, ooh. So
what's new?
Apparently the stones work. Ooh, crystals. So anyway, because I'm the best, you're right. I get it. You guys aren't that enthusiastic around me because you don't want to make it seem like it's such a big deal. It's kind of like when somebody's like really attractive, you want to be like, oh yeah, like I'd like to get your number, when inside you're actually melting. It's kind of like that when you're around me. So that's pretty much awesome, and I'm just encouraging you guys to continue to do so. Just make sure you're really thankful and grateful, but you don't have to show it. Just be like, man, that's an awesome portrait, and then bring cash. Bring cash. And then you can leave, and I'll never see you again. And I feel like, wow, I poured my heart and soul into that. At least I have an Instagram picture. Okay. Is there any more questions coming up? Let's see what's going on.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah. If there's no more questions, all of you are watching now, which I can see you. By the way, we can see you from this end. I don't know if you know that.
6 of you.
All of you that are sitting like this with your phone right now, we can literally see you on our program. So,
Hi,
by the way,
going over there?
Yeah, that one dude with
your finger out of your nose.
Yeah, that dude needs to put his shirt on. So we can see you, and we're going to block you eternally from all platforms. And if you do not ask a question, as well as guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, listening and watching, whether you're currently watching or watching this pre-recorded, if you're live now, let us know where you're viewing from. Where are you guys at? What's going on? Where are we?
We are at High Sierra Tattoo Co.
High Sierra Tattoo Co., Clovis, California, 601 West Shaw. Beat that. Jeez. Okay, so we have another question coming in. Have you ever went to a tattoo convention for work or just for fun?
I have been to a tattoo convention for fun, and I got this panther.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Robert.
Wait, the panther's name's Robert?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was done by somebody named Robert that works in Sacramento, in a shop in Sac.
Very nice.
Forgot what the shop was named, but I do remember
Roberto,
Roberto.
Rob,
But
Bobby.
I just remember getting like stared at because like it was like one of the bigger tattoos because I was flipping through this book instead of just a flash. I'm like, can we do this? And since it's out, like I mean it's out, you know.
Right.
So I figured he wouldn't have it out if he didn't want to do it, and I was his last one for the day. So people were looking at me like I was all tough. I'm like, yeah,
No big deal.
no biggie.
Pretty much bulletproof.
Didn't hurt at all.
That's right. And she didn't even wait. Did you have this with you? Probably not.
Honestly, I did.
You
I bring my crystals everywhere with me.
So like whatever, you know what I mean? Like pain.
Hi, Carson.
Yeah. Carson's on here. What's up, OG? He's our OG viewer. I think he's been on every single episode thus far. And if I'm wrong, I'm not. I'm never wrong, so I know I'm right. He's been on every episode. So I'll talk conventions here for a second. So by now, I'm so good at what I do that conventions really just really. This is not satire, guys. I'm being honest. I'm so incredibly good at what I do that I don't need conventions anymore. They call me and ask me if I'll show up so that they could get more people to join and come in and pay money to walk around and look at artists that you could just go to their shops and see. So I'm kind of, in a way, you could almost say I'm too good for it. It's almost like you could say I'm above that. No, I have to admit, I'm totally kidding. I'm not at all. There's amazing. Matter of fact, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from conventions before of artists that are just phenomenal, even local here. People would be surprised how great some of the talent is, even in our own town. Not necessarily just Clovis, but the Fresno County area. This Central Valley is just full of incredible artists. So even going locally, but I've gone abroad and I've seen conventions in other states, and again, see stuff that inspires you. It's really cool to see work that's just so unique to you. You can look at it, and for example, when I was quite younger and not as good at tattooing as I am now, not one of the best, there was a tattoo I saw, and I remember thinking it was fake. I swore it was fake, and the guy kept saying, "No, man, that's real. And finally, I got to up close and look at it, and I could tell he had just gotten it done. It's kind of red and a little bit bloody. And it blew my mind that something looked like that. I didn't know things could actually look that good. So when that bar was set higher than my expectations at the time, that just showed me that I have a lot to learn. And I learned it all now that I'm the best. So I did my footwork. Being serious, though, I'm the best. So come to me. Portraits. All right. Now, we got Carson on here. Also, Susan, Oregon City, right on. Oregon City's a badass place, by the way.
I've never been to Oregon.
Anybody watching from Oregon City probably might not say that. They call them Oregon Cityots.
Oh, that's mean.
I know. But my mom's not part of that category. My mom's awesome. And Oregon City is a really, really great town. So Carson's saying, hey, he does what he can. So he's supporting us. So Carson, any questions? That's why we're here. Obviously, we are doing our live Q&A. This is now live only. We're not asking any pre-existing questions on our Instagram or anything like that. So you guys have questions, you have to ask them here. So right now, as of now, other than a couple laughs and some haze and some locations, by the way, Carson, what's up, dude? Where are you from? Where are you at? I don't get it. Let us know where you're at and ask us some questions. So that's what this whole live stream is about. I will touch on the convention thing a little bit too, something I left out. I am quite an introvert that doesn't like crowds. So conventions, and it's not me just complaining about something. I mean, literally I get dizzy around lots of people because I'm very alert to my surroundings, and that's a lot of surroundings to be alert to. And as well as the sounds and the echoing of voices and all the music and all the things and all the mayhem going on. To some people, they see that as a good time and they enjoy it. For others, like moi, typically really talented, gifted artists that just are kind of above the rest, people like me, the best in the world, it's really difficult for me to be around such, how do I say this humbly, such mediocre. Maybe the stone should be in your hand only. I have the stone. Put it in my ring. I could put it on a ring and just wear it. Anyway, no, it's really hard for me to be around big crowds like that. It's really, really difficult, and I don't enjoy it, especially when I'm tattooing. So I'm trying to focus. Like I kind of say, what it feels like for me tattooing at a convention is that I'm focusing on have you ever tried to read a book while you're driving, like in the hills or like curvy roads or anything? trying to focus on something or draw while you're back and forth, that motion sickness, it's just it's intolerable. The last convention I was at, I actually had to put paper towels rolled up in my ears to block all the sound because I was so dizzy I literally could not perform. So that kind of stuff it's not very fun.
Yeah, I put my earbuds in when I got tattooed, just because there was like a lot, like every single station that was set up had a different speaker, and like at least 5 to 6 people in that station talking with different conversations. So it is very overwhelming.
It can be,
and it's a big space for a lot of people to be in.
And then you have announcers, you have events, you have booths, tattoo booths, you have merch booths, you have all kinds of different things going on. And it's supposed to be a good time, and I appreciate everybody always showing support in the industry. It's always cool. It's really cool to see how many people go there that are just, it's like entertainment for them to see maybe something they don't get to see regularly in different artists, but the actual process. A lot of people are unfamiliar with it and don't have tattoos, but are very much interested in tattoos. So I think that's really cool. It makes it a lot of fun. Carson, you're saying he's watching from Clovis, California, which is right around the corner. As a matter of fact, it is the same town. That's where we are from. That's where we're at. If you guys didn't know, 601 West Shaw, Clovis, California, High Sierra Tattoo Company.
Bring cash.
Yeah, bring cash. That's our motto. If you guys didn't know, I'm surprised nobody said it yet.
I have to get the guy in person.
Yeah. So we have 5 of you on here now watching. We've been on here for 40 minutes. We've had 3 questions, which means the rest of you watching, since we can see you, we're actually going to block you. So we're going to go ahead and jump off in a minute and do that. So after we block you, we'll no longer be able to see any of these streams. And matter of fact, you might be blocked from all social medias, all platforms completely. And so if you have any sensitive data there, you may want to retrieve now before you get completely destroyed. I wonder if it's illegal for me to say this. I wonder if there's like some sort of like clause or like some sort of policy, like you can't bully people.
No.
Like if you don't,
we can bully them all we want.
Yeah, we can bully them. They bully us.
Yeah, people bully each other on YouTube all the time.
Right.
You know how many people well, yeah, people on the internet are ruthless. I don't even have to give examples.
Exactly, they are. I mean, look at Carson on here, just blowing it up like it's his feed. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's on here. I mean, how good are you even at tattooing, Carson's really? Like, you're gonna come on here on our feed and just blow it up like you belong. Like you can sit with us. Like you can sit with us.
You can sit with us. Don't listen to him. You can sit at our table.
So Carson, he's saying he's actually never been to a convention and he wants to go to one. So you have to go, man. Especially if you've never been, and I know you started tattooing a while ago. So it's really not an option. I mean, you have to do it. Even if you don't like it, you need to know. I think the cooler ones are the bigger ones. Yeah, if you can go down L.A., Las Vegas. They're the better ones. I think they're smarter to go to because you're going to get a more professional environment, not just the artist, but specifically the arena. It's just set up a lot more professionally. So you're not getting a lot of different music and a lot of different announcers at the same time and just kind of mayhem, and audio sounds better in those rooms. So, well, I'd like to go on. I don't even want to say that word. Sorry. I'm not gonna acknowledge
that
them.
That one.
I'd like to go on a show, but I want to give everyone else a chance at winning. That's funny because what I feel like you're doing now is speaking as if you're me, because now that you're on my feed more than anybody else, it's almost like you've taken on my presence. That's how powerful of a character I have, is you are now speaking as if you were me. That's really cool, Carson. I like that. It's almost like you're an avatar for Joshua Farmer himself.
I need to share this confidence. I need some of this. I'm like, where is it coming from?
There you go. I have so much that I should put almost all of it, 99% of it in that stone and just let you have it. So give it a go if you'd like. Yeah, so we've answered all your questions. Yes. See what happens? He said, hold on. You can rephrase that, Carson. You said, I think you're right. I like that you used the correct your. That's awesome. But I believe the I think could go. So if you could rephrase that and I can share it up here on the screen, then I'm with you, Carson. I'll also say, guys, thank you for being on here. We're going to jump off here in a second. Before we do, yes, no, Carson, no what? In the comments, he's saying no, but you got to spell it out, man. I'm going to share it on screen so people can see what it is that's going on here. But this episode, guys, is brought to you by High Sierra Tattoo Co., Clovis, California, 601 West Shaw.
Bring cash.
Bring cash. This is the live Q&A. you guys ask questions. We're going to answer them. Next time, you guys won't be able to be on here if you didn't ask questions because you're going to be blocked from all social medias after this stream. So any sensitive information, again, will be deleted. So if you have any on there, go ahead and save it now. And I probably should say I'm kidding about all that. And most of this was all satire, just in case for any reason I get in trouble. But it's still fun. So thanks, guys, for jumping on. We appreciate you. We like the questions. Next time, we'll go back to the normal, which is going to be putting out questions on our Facebook and Instagram, and you guys can ask them there previous to the recording, and then we answer them live. At the same time, we will try to answer any of your questions while you're up on here. So I would say my intentions were to, this time, answer all of the lives, and I usually skip a lot of them, but this time there was almost none of them. This happened to be the least amount of questions asked on the live.
What's going on?
Which, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm really cool with. I think what happens is it's probably a little bit of an intimidation factor. You know, they see us on camera and they're like, oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to watch that. My wife is sitting next to me, or, oh my gosh, my husband, what's he going to think of me? Look at these two. They're just, it's like
powerful.
Inappropriate. Yeah. You guys should be lucky that we don't charge for you guys to even watch this. It's completely free, which is actually really insane. But the reason I do it is because I'm a humble man. I'm gracious, I'm kind, and I'm giving. It's pretty amazing. You would think that I'm a little bit conceited, but that's the best thing about me is I'm not, for as great as I am. These stones are awesome, by the way. So, all right, guys, we're going to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. Till next time, bring cash.
Bring cash. And come back.
Come back.
Wednesday
Questions.
for Hump Day Q&A. Don't forget.
Yes, bring cash.
Bring cash.
See ya.